Today, we're digging into the question that might sound dramatic, but trust me, it's not. Is your company a cult? Now, before you roll your eyes and clutch your employee badge like it's a loyalty necklace, hear me out. Some of us have worked for companies that feel more like a religion than a workplace. They bring you in, they dazzle you with mission statements, tell you you're the best of the best. And then somehow, when things go sideways, when the work becomes toxic, when boundaries are crossed, you're still grateful. But should you be? Let's start by defining what I don't mean. I don't mean companies with great cultures, strong values that they not only hang on the wall, but the leaders actually live by them and challenge each other when they're not living by them. I am talking about organizations that hang the values on the wall and pretend to follow those values, but really they're only mimicking the behaviors as needed. Behind the scenes, it's a different ball game. And it's too late because they've already drawn you into a cult-like environment that seduced you into blind loyalty. I remember when I worked at a tech company in HR and I sat through orientation and they said, "We only hire the best of the best. So, congratulations, you are the best of the best." I sat there proud of myself thinking, wow, look at me. I'm finally considered the best of the best. Finally, somebody sees me. Well, guess what? Every company tries to hire the best of the best. Do they get it right all the time? No, but they try. That is the classic step one from the cult blueprint, but in corporate form. It's love bombing, baby. You're told from day one you're amazing, that you were chosen. The recruiter or the hiring manager or HR says, "We don't just hire anyone, we only hire the best." The onboarding process is flawless. You get swag, a mentor, and you're welcomed into the group like a super rock star walking on a stage to hundreds of thousands of fans. I know what you're thinking. Every company is going to welcome you with open arms. Of course they are. They just spent all this time trying to find you, and now you're here. They better treat you well. But this is more than just welcoming you. It's making you feel so special to be a part of this group, a part of something so big that you are special and privileged to be here. And that brings me to another class cult move, making you feel like you are joining a movement that will change the world, that will help someone, that will make a difference. Let me give you an example. WeWork. In its heyday, under Adam Newman, WeWork had the language of spirituality. Newman once said, "Our mission is to elevate the world's consciousness." People were encouraged to move across the world on a whim. We're not just building offices, we're creating a revolution. Until, of course, it imploded. So when you are at a company, you think you are a part of something bigger than yourself. Some companies are doing remarkable things in the world, making our lives better, happier, more fulfilled. And then there are others which say they are, but they aren't. Yet you are now a part of the family, the team, the group. Simply put, you feel like you belong, and belonging is powerful. And for those who have never felt like they belonged anywhere, it could mean everything in their world. But it doesn't take long for you to notice the things aren't perfect as they appear to be. And in some cases, things are downright wrong. Now, no company is perfect. We all know that. But perhaps you notice that you are praised when you work late or when you sacrifice yourself and your personal life for the sake of work, or maybe even guilt tripped when you try to set boundaries. All of the sudden, you find yourself saying, well, it's not even the pay that keeps me here or the stock or the benefits. It's the people. It's the mission. It's the FOMO, the fear of missing out on what is to come. The company is doing so many amazing things. I don't want to miss it. Oh, and they just threw the coolest summer party. Such a wonderful thing to do. But then you see promotions being given to loyalists, not the best employees, and dissent or constructive challenges are punished, and you're told you simply aren't adapting to change well. This, my friends, is emotional manipulation, aka gaslighting. That's right, stuff is happening all around you, and if you notice it, you're the problem. Guess what? That's not culture. That's indoctrination. So you find yourself becoming burned out, working harder than ever, living your life on a treadmill that simply won't stop. And here's the kicker. There is that ever so subtle, or maybe not so subtle, belief that people who leave are weak or weren't a fit. Skepticism is seen as negativity. You're either in or you're out. I remember when I was a TV news reporter, anyone who left the business was talked about after they left as someone who simply couldn't hack it. Actually, they realized they wanted their nights, their weekends, their holidays free, and they didn't want to stand in front of a dark building at 10 p.m. when the meeting ended at 5 p.m. to do a live shot. They wanted a life and a respectable paycheck. But those who stayed behind were pumped up because they were stronger and they fought through to stay when that person quit. So you're miserable, sad, maybe even depressed, not feeling valued, overworked, exhausted, and feeling convinced you must stay. Is this resonating with any of you? So let's ask the big question. How do you know if you're in a company cult or you're simply in a bad company? Here are some signs. Number one, you defend the company more than yourself. When friends or family point out how stressed you are, do you respond with, "Yeah, but I love the people"? Or, "The company is doing such great things"? You are focused on the company and not your overall fulfillment and well-being. That's the first sign. Number two, you fear disappointing leadership more than failing the job. You want them to be proud of you, to give you praise, to make you feel valued, instead of feeling valuable all on your own. Number three, you feel special for working there, even if you're unhappy. Your company is in the news. Woohoo! Your company is the company everyone is talking about, or so you think. I remember telling people I worked at Roku, what I thought was the hottest company on the planet that everyone was talking about. Guess what? Most of my friends had no idea what it was at the time. It was a wake-up call. 4, people who leave suddenly are ignored. Or worse, they are talked about as quitters or not committed enough, or not that great of a talent anyway. 5, transparency is a performance, not a practice. That means companies say they value openness, but their actions tell a different story. They hold Ask Me Anything sessions, but only safe softball questions are asked, or they share the company financials, but omit the messy stuff like upcoming layoffs or past layoffs, or the inequities in pay. Leadership uses vulnerability as a tactic, talking about their failures like they're on a TED Talk stage, telling a story that will always end with a happy ending. In other words, it looks like transparency and it feels authentic on the surface, but it's managed like a PR campaign to get you to think a certain way instead of giving you the facts and allowing you to use your own critical thinking. And unfortunately, the real kicker to all of this is when bad things happen, you will experience gaslighting, micromanagement, impossible deadlines, and you will blame yourself for staying, for failing, for feeling like you should be able to do better. But what if, just what if, you are under a spell and you just need to snap out of it? How can you just snap out of it? Well, first, start listening to your own doubts. Is your inner voice raising red flags? That's your truth trying to sneak out. Your intuition is your truth. Don't ignore it. And if it's causing that much stress and that much angst, definitely address it. Second, talk to people outside the bubble, not the happy hour crew. Talk to your partner, your friend in another industry, a therapist. They'll hear what you've been too close to notice. Third, audit your loyalty. Ask, am I loyal to the work or the idea of the company or what the company used to be but isn't anymore? Am I staying out of purpose or out of fear? That old proverb, better the devil you know than the devil you don't? If you move to another company, what if it's exactly the same? Look at the company unbiased. And would you take a job at this company knowing what you know today? And finally, know that loving your coworkers is not a reason to stay. You can love the people and still leave the company. And I can promise you, your coworkers are not your friends. They are your coworkers. Very few will reach out and keep in touch with you. So by leaving, you're not betraying anyone. You're reclaiming yourself. Let me leave you with this. A healthy company doesn't require your soul. It earns your respect, not your worship. So next time you're proudly telling someone how miserable you are at work, but I just love the company, or I love the mission of the company, or I love the people, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, do you love the work, the mission, and the you that shows up there? Or do you just not want to be the one who walks away from the altar? Keep thinking and pausing and reflecting. And thanks for joining me on Work Unscripted. If this episode hit home or it made you think about that job you left or the one you're still in, share it with a friend. Also, please subscribe and hit the rate button or pop a review on your favorite platform. And remember, loving your job should feel empowering, not consuming. Until next time, stay wise, stay whole, and stay unscripted.